welcome back to another episode of Cultured Unplugged. For another episode, another topic. And of course, we have a special guest who's been actually no stranger to us. He's been back with us a couple times and back again. So before we get into any subject and we talk about anything, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down there at the bottom so that you don't miss any opportunity to be a part of us, be a part of the movement, be a part of Cultured Unplugged, future episodes and topics. So this is going to be your new home. If you've never come here before, we're glad that you've actually joined us. And if you've been here before, you already know what it is. You know how we get down. We talk about mentorship. We talk about real, unedited stuff. We're not afraid to bend the rule a little bit and take it a mile to be able to get some type of understanding when it comes down to male mentorship and getting you together in all kind of lifestyle strategies. So without further ado, as you already know, I want to introduce my cousin Peter, and Peter is the man. Peter's the legend, man. Peter is that dude that
No.
I may be speaking him up. I may be speaking him up like you know he's the icon, but seriously, like when I met him, man, I was like, man, Peter is that dude. So I had to have him on this topic because this topic's actually talking about why men date multiple women. That's a very interesting topic, very interesting conversation to have. We're not, first of all, just kind of creating the temperature check out there and setting the groundwork. You know, we're not here to bash women or nothing like that. We're not here to make anybody feel indifferent for whatever they decide, whatever lifestyle they decide to live. This is more so about having a nice, healthy conversation. Whether it may be something right for you or wrong for you, that's up to you. And again, we're talking to young men. We're talking to you. We're talking to those young men who are coming up. They're in their 20s. And they're making a lot of quick decisions based on the physical aspect about sex, the physical aspect about women. And so this is why we're having this conversation. So without further ado, I got to get into it. I just got to ask Peter, how are you, man? It's been a while since we had you on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here again. I'm very good. I'm very, very good. I think this is a topic that's akin to mankind. As per se, you started out saying that as it's part of what young people are doing right now, young men. And I want to ask you a question. Do you really think so with what's going on right now with young people, that they're young men that are dating a lot of women? And why I'm asking you that question, because I think the baseline has changed so much on what young people are doing, even from your category to the 20-year-old. So am I wrong in asking you that question?
No, I don't think you're wrong in asking that. I wanted to say this, and I will say dating multiple women does not mean having sex with multiple women. Okay, it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it is correlated with the two, but at the same time, you are right. This is the whole reason why we're bringing this conversation to light, is because there is a shift in the thought process about dating in the first place.
Right.
There are a lot of young people that are not dating in the way we know dating people.
Exactly. So that's why I asked that question.
So, but you see,
in the conversation,
right? But you see, exactly. So the topic is this, because I'm gonna keep it real transparent and funky with you, right? The topic is really an oxymoron.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's more so like, okay, we know as grown people that dating has changed. The element of what dating really is has changed. Right. And so if I'm saying, okay, well, why men date multiple women, that's more so an eye raiser. Like, are they really dating multiple women? Are they having sex with multiple women? Or are they actually having a meaningful courting experience? What does that look like? What is the right effective way to go about it, right? So let's kind of go back in the history times as far as dating, what that looked like, right? And why it has changed. So I've been here since '87. I'm 34. And from the history books of what I've read and documentaries of what I've seen and movies from what I've seen men who liked a woman, he liked.
Right.
He went up to her. He may have said something a little bit, that was funny, or said something that was kind of romantic and was like, I'd like to take you out, whatever. And it was just one woman he had his eye on, and that was it. Now, I'm not saying it was always roses and peaches back then either, because you had people too. You had guys that had a lady in New York and a lady in South Carolina, and said when I get on that road, baby, and I get on that road, I come down there, I'm coming home to you, and he'll send a letter back over to his New York lady. So obviously it has shifted. The aspect of what dating has look like has shifted and changed over the years, and probably with each generation. Because and I know I'm not trying to take too much of the spotlight because I want to get your opinion on it, but I wanted to validate to answer your question.
Right.
What you see now is an access for multiple contacts, multiple different people at one time, and it's easy. It's been easy now to navigate multiple different people at one time because of social media, because of our cell phones, technology. And what it is that where I'm trying to, at least change the narrative, change the perspective, get young people to think about is the fact that you got to understand that you are pulling from different souls, different energies. You're not locked into just one person. It's okay to be able to navigate and date and those things like that. But the more times you separate yourself, you put yourself out there in so many different kind of people, you lose a little bit of yourself. And that's just my opinion, and that's just from my experience. You lose a little bit of yourself. You get so wrapped up in different energies. Now, it depends on your intention. It depends, and everybody's intentions are a little different. But that's where I wanted to answer your question, Peter. But I want to let you elaborate on that a little bit too.
Well, I think social media and the way the norms have changed from my generation, even like I said, to your generation, I don't think that neither of us are qualified to even give young people an idea of how they should date now. They're on a totally different plane. The nouns and pronouns and acronyms and different ways that they're understand each other is different than what you and I. So the baseline has changed because the emotional connection is so different in the difference of who they are. You understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yep.
Based on our Anglo-Christian values, we had a certain norm. And going back to what the original question was that, should men date multiple women, and what do we feel about that? Or, there was a time and period where that probably was happening. It's still happening a lot throughout the whole world. Why do we do that? It's a conquering thing. It's something that most men have always enjoyed. The fact that it's the conquest that you made. And then there's that part of it. And then there's the other part of not being non-committal. Mm-hmm. The inability to really, truly connect.
I don't know, I hate to interrupt you, but to ask this question is, culturally, do you think it stems from, our history as far as I know people talk about African history, ancestral, royal periods, those things. Do you think it has a lot to do with that lineage? Is that something that we see as the idea of monogamy, being with just one person. That aspect, is that a European ideal? Do you think that's wrong? Because there are going to be a lot of women, first of all, are going to probably see this and say that you guys are always using that excuse. That it's it's the African history and this and that, and this is America, and this and that. But I'm just asking for the good of wanting to ask: is it the way, or does it have any significance to our historical behaviors?
Mankind is always. If opportunity was there, man always found a way to try to have an abundance. So if women were there in abundance, man found a way to have an abundance of women. So I think the norm has changed, the baseline has changed. And so even for myself as an older person who, dated in the somewhat archaic areas time period, my period was more medieval as to now, what would have been a stigma or social indifference or social acceptance is something totally different now. And so even the values that I thought of it being right or wrong, or, wow, I can be with so many girls or whatever, That's so changed now, The world has just opened up so much, There's so many things I'm learning from my grandkids and my kids on the difference of life, So, again, it's where you're at. You know what I'm saying? It's where you're at as a person to qualify. Dating multiple women. I can't really. I can't really give young people advice. I really find myself there's certain things that I think that I can. But when it comes to the emotional and growth behavior, I don't think that I can. All I can do is sit back and watch.
Okay. Well, how about the aspect of managing multiple women? Because that's an effort all by itself.
Don't get sick.
Because, well, you mentioned something. you mentioned something like, basically, I had to add the laughter on that one. But I was just thinking about something right here. You talked about the new generation, right? You talked about this new generation appeal where guys have changed the way and how they date, or the aspect of what dating is.
Right.
Multiple women, the whole thing has changed, right? So let's talk about what women, on the women aspect too, as far as what they desire and what they expect. So meaning this. I have just recently, I was on Facebook, and it was this young lady who talked about how she was upset because, or she get turned off with guys when she doesn't get a good morning text message. If she doesn't get a good morning text message every morning and have a fluid text messaging and communication throughout the day, she will feel like she's ready to block you. So the aspect of communication has changed, even on what the women expect, and what they're willing to accept. Because now, as you see, there's access to many different kind of men at one time. Right. Just like there's many options of women for guys, right? Right. There are many guys that are now accessible. Mm-hmm. Women, I was just even saying the other day, like, women will date for really an opportunity, for them to have an opportunity to really focus on their emotions, to, give them that attention. Right. Men, it's more about a numbers game, to be honest with you. It's a numbers game, and whether or not we see ourselves dealing with you, first of all, and no woman will be able to miss when that would be, because you'll know. We're not fake when it comes down to whether or not we actually
We're
want you.
ready. We're ready. We're ready.
When we ready, we ready. Okay, and some women though, and I even hear probably women watch this video ask, well, when is that? I can't tell you when that is. You got to know who you're dealing with, what you're willing to accept. And for a guy who's watching this, and we have guys that watch this show, you got to know when you feel like you're ready, and you got to be able to communicate that effectively, so that no time is wasted. But you got a lot of guys that I know a lot of guys that say, hey, look, I'm just here to have a good time. I may send her a little lie to keep this thing going so I can still get the benefits and the rewards of, the pleasures that we want. You see what I'm saying? I want to get all the pleasures out of you. And yeah, I'll tell you, baby, we together, and yeah, baby, we this and that. But whole time we just, we still dibbling dabbling. We still being that uncle on the side on the corner, having a good time. But I'm telling you, it has its risks. It has its risks. This is why I beg to push this out here, because dating multiple women and dating anybody multiple, it has its risk on, emotions getting hurt, people getting hurt, your health getting affected and getting hurt. You know what I mean? I'm not saying don't live your life. I'm not saying, hey, this and that, but you got to think before you actually come into the situation. There are a lot of people losing lives over hurt feelings. A lot of people losing lives over emotions getting hurt. Just the other day, I'm sure you heard, Peter, about the lady she went and shot up, I guess, a young lady that she had found her girlfriend sleeping with another girlfriend and this and that. Yeah. Or you hear many times where guys have come in to find out their wife was cheating or the girlfriend was cheating, and he ready to shoot up. So it becomes this constant thing. So this is where it's like you got to think before you do.
Exactly.
Honestly, that's really where it comes down to. Is you can live this life.
So for the woman or the man who commits to a life of polyamorous, as one would put it.
Right.
All right. For that individual, you want them to have a more enlightened knowledge of the path that they're going down, and what the consequences can be.
Yes. However, this is the thing. Yeah. I have to recognize that there are those that are in an arrangement. Okay. Right. Exactly. They are in an arrangement that is suitable for their household.
Right.
They have two wives, one guy, everybody's working together as a family unit. Right. You got two guys, one girl, you got two different couples, all under the same household, under the same roof.
Right.
What works for you, let it work for you. It may not work for the other person. My job I'm not here to tear down what your lifestyle is. My whole aspect of this is to bring conversations like this to light, to have a healthy conversation, talk about it. Whether or not it may be right for you, hey, that's on you. But I can tell you, go ahead, Peter.
I think, that things happen in stages with men, when it comes to women and how men want multiple women. I think when you're younger, your knowledge of yourself is, in most cases, not there. So how do you know what a 17-year-old, 18-year-old girl wants? You understand what I'm saying? For a young man who's that age. Right. When we hit our 20s, we as young men, we still don't know what the fuck we want sometimes. Yeah. So again, we don't know who we are. So how can you qualify? Knowing what the opposite sex needs, you're going by the social norms. Now, what is happening in your community? In most cases, your mom ain't saying, it ain't okay to have 2 or 3 girls. Everybody around you is saying, it's all right. But the girls. Right. You understand what I'm saying? It has become an acceptable norm around you, so that you become to copy because that's part of manhood, something that's given to you.
Right.
Because even your mom has allowed it. Now, women make dogs out of men sometimes.
Yeah, how so?
You know, they create that, they nurture that.
Wow. I see what
They
you're saying.
nurture that. They
Mhm.
nurture that. They nurture that from youth. He can't do nothing wrong. That's my baby.
Well, you got some women, like I said right now, they're not dealing with none of that. They,
But you understand what I'm
there's
saying?
no type of,
So when you understand what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with guys who are dating multiple women, in most cases in our society, it becomes a situation where it's looked upon as okay.
Mhm.
Because, like I said, most moms are not criticizing their young men for having multiple little girlfriends.
That is true. That is true. So it makes you wonder, who really is to blame on this one? I'm not saying to take
It's
the
not a blame.
accountability.
It's just a part of our lifestyle
Mm.
that this is who we are as a society.
Is it a cultural thing though? Because you specified you talked about a specific type of behavioral response that's mostly seen in a certain culture subset. So
Do you think so? I
I
mean, do
do.
you think it's mostly found in brown and black cultures? Do you think so?
I think it's very well possible. I'm not so certain that's across the board. I'm not so certain that's across the board. But then again, I don't see
Women are across the board.
women are across the board.
What are you talking about? As long as they are women,
Okay,
man
so I
is
get
going to
that.
do whatever the fuck he's going to do, and it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
But it is the real. It's the realness because women create men. You know, women create men, and however they create those men, sometimes they give, a pat on the back, to certain norms of behavior in societies. And that is in every society. I think that men change as we get older. We become more
Yeah.
aware of ourselves, and then we become more aware of those women. You know what I'm saying? But it's like to ask a 15-year-old to, create a will.
Mm.
And know where they're going to put all their money. You got to go through those stages of life to know. When you're in a certain stage in your 20s and shit, it is hard for an older man to say to you, "Don't do this."
It is. No, you're
When
right.
everybody else around mostly is doing it in your position, and you've done it, and thousands of people have done it. And what is your reason for telling them not to do this? Because it's going to hurt this person, or not hurt this person? Or are you going to tell them how to do it? Or are you going to tell them your version of what you think of how you should do it? There was a time that I was told, just tell all the girls, you know what I'm saying, that you're dating somebody. That shit didn't work. That didn't work.
Now, well, if you
People's
could work,
feelings are going to get involved because, like you said,
yeah,
at
it's
the
true. It's true.
when there
It's
are
true.
multiple people involved,
It's true.
energies are gonna get intertwined.
Well, I could tell you this: a lot of us can't handle our own medicine when it comes to that stuff too. Though we have this thing that we're like, look, to know that the lady that I'm supposed to be dealing with, she's out there with different dudes, and I'm supposed to be like we get so confused with the fact that they treat us, or some of us to treat us like a regular dude.
That's not your lady, though. That's
This
not
is not my-
you know, that's not your lady. You can't you can't say, oh man, that's my lady out there. No, that's not your lady.
but can we what's needed?
You
But
thinking it, but that's not your
but to
lady.
play okay, but to play devil's advocate here, can the lady not say that? Can we not say the same thing for our lady too?
Damn right.
Okay.
Damn right. Open is open. No, if you guys want to give it that that own world for itself. If you want to say I belong to him, he belongs to me, but we still gonna do what the fuck we want to do.
Right.
That's on you. That's whatever. That's on you. But you know, it's to each his own, man. At this
True.
stage,
True.
It's to each his own. You know.
I can't get, you know, I'm not going I'm not, you know, trying to chastise anybody when I talk about stuff like this, but like, what does a real date look like for a woman today? You know, women are saying, oh, you know, why aren't y'all, you know, actually taking us out on real dates, and why aren't y'all not, you know, doing it like the old days and shit like that? We don't.
This my answer to that is you ask them what they would like.
Okay.
Instead, I think we men, we sometimes we are not akin to what women are feeling, because we're on our own track. That may be one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is we may try to compete with what we saw the other dude do before and get it all fucked up and get broke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then the third option is just asking that person, what the fuck do you want?
Do they know? Who knows?
How would you like your first date to be with me?
Well, I did, you know, I had
How do you want that? Because if a woman is saying, yo, y'all don't know, blah, blah, you want to go back in the old days, shit, you don't know what the fucking old days was. You can't even qualify what the fucking old days was. But don't understand. You understand what I'm saying? You know? Because women were different back then. You know? So at the same time, I think it becomes a situation where you're like, what do you want? You know, how do you see a date going out with me, and starting from there and connecting on that level, and then let's see if your bank book can handle it.
I will say this, right? There are a lot of people that's not being straight up, tell you the truth, right? And I say that because the whole, even to give a damn to even take somebody out is not really there. There's a whole thing about just taking somebody to the crib and just smashing. That's just what it is, being honest. More times than not. But if a dude has no idea where to say, he legitimately says, I don't have any idea what I could do for a date or whatever the case. I don't want to spend a whole lot of money. I don't want to spend my money on different people at one time. Then that's a reasonable, you know what I mean, conversation. If you say, okay, and then I could tell you based on the episode. I just put an episode out there recently talking about date tips from a 30-something. You know what I mean? And how it can be real expensive to date multiple people, like really date.
Yeah.
It can be really expensive. However, if you think outside the box, beyond a dinner and a movie, beyond just going out to eat, because I'm going to tell you something, that gets old in itself, okay? Women typically like some shit you actually thought of, and you, like a decent woman, like some shit you actually put some mind to. You actually did a little research. It ain't hard to figure out women these days because you got social media.
Right.
The shit that she do with her girlfriend, right. You doing the same shit with her, you know what I'm saying, on a date. You go into a museum, you go into the zoo, you go into, you know, y'all doing some pottery, you know what I mean? You're doing something, activity, bowling, whatever. There's so many different outside of the box things you can do that's not gonna you don't have to pay a dime. Or you may pay only like $20. And she may think like that's the world. You thought the world of me to think all of this. I never thought you would, right? You gotta be different. I would say being different, and I don't care if you're the weird dude in school, I don't care if you're the dude that was clowned on. Being different will set you up for success. I will say that. I have always looked to be different. When I came down to my dating, when it came down to going some spot, be like, look, I got these 2 tickets for this little comedy show. Let's go ahead and get some laugh on. If you could laugh with a female, first of all, you can make a female laugh, or you can take her to laugh. More than likely, she's gonna give you the draws. You can laugh the damn draws off her damn, I kid you not, because they like that shit. I'm so serious. Am I lying, Peter?
Yeah, you're right, dog.
If your intention is to build something with this person, and eventually, she catered to you, she love on you, and all that stuff, take her somewhere where she can have a good time.
That's true.
Straight up.
If she can laugh, she takes.
If she can laugh, I'm telling you, you could be an ugly dude. You could be an ugly dude.
And I've seen that shit.
Yeah, it's true.
So look, I think all of that. I mean, the old school way of seducing a woman in a date and all that. That's all good, But I guess even like I said today, I guess you still got to put that word in just talking. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what guys forget to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just asking her what she wants anyway. You know what I'm saying?
No, I dig it. And
you can be imaginative, and that way you get, you know what I'm saying? And, it is great to create. It is great to create.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is great to fucking create. It is a fantastic thing. No one is going to deny you from being spontaneous and coming up with something that's new and fresh and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But some dudes have a hard time communicating. They have a hard time having a conversation. You know how you and I are having a grown man conversation right now. This is not always easy. They got a lot of quiet motherfuckers too. They have a hard time just saying some shit.
That's true.
Yeah, and then women will catch that and be like, "Oh, this dude is real boring. Like, why is this dude so boring?" If you can't have a conversation, it's not gonna get anywhere. With a decent person, we're talking about a woman that's, to many men would find attractive. You're not gonna get far. You're just not gonna get far because
yo. I'll tell you this. When you can sweep a woman off her feet and do some dope ass shit, it is the most amazing feeling to make her feel that happy. It is. Because it goes out the window for yourself, but to see the joy on her face or something like that. And like I said, it is an amazing fucking thing. I think we as men, we're still learning that. We're still learning that ladder of ourselves, and even just how it is to talk to a woman, deal with a woman. You know what I'm saying? We are nurtured from our mothers. We're nurtured, but we're not usually taught.
Right.
And that's a big difference, because men need nurturing. Men need nurturing, but they also need to be taught. And as we get older, we go through a lot of stages. As women go through stages, like you said, some dudes just, their ideal way of a date is just taking her home and smashing her. That's it. Maybe have some pizza or slice of pizza on the way in.
Right.
Right. But it's all where we're at. Where you are right now at your age is not where you were when you were 16, 21. Your thought process is different. It's going to change. And it's a maturation process that we go through, or we don't go through. And I think that's the bigger question, or the bigger statement. Everyone does not grow, and everyone does not grow at the same rate. And even from an OG, we still make the same mistakes twice and over. Right. This is a process. As in life, it's a process that we're going through of learning how to love ourselves and how to love other people and how to give and how to mend that all into relationships that we have, whether it be business, professional, whatever it may be. So, it's a good question. It's a good way for us to open up that segment about men and dating multiple women, and, but it's such a topic. And we just scratched a little surface of it.
It's really the surface.
I hope I answered some of your questions.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, this is one of those things that a lot of times it's just, it gets picked apart and talked about. And I relate the story back to the, you know, the bear, the grizzly bear. You know, he come down to the river, he try to get some fish. Them fish is squirming between the claws. But he finally gets one, and he finally have his dinner. And sometimes we are that bear. We can't be afraid to catch some L's, right? We can't be afraid to have those losses, because the moment when we have as many more losses that we have, we understand what we can do to be better in ourselves.
Exactly.
To have that one winner, you know what I mean? And it just gets expensive. Not only necessarily financially, but it gets expensive and taxing on your whole spirituality too.
It does. It does.
You see
and I say this because when you start breaking down dating multiple women and the expense and the cost of it, you know, but you know what? Is it what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is it what you want to do? Because if you want to date multiple women, dude, you know what I'm saying? You can't blame nobody. Ain't nothing you can say about it. Or you can be like, yo, man, I gotta come out my pocket. End of story.
Exactly. If you got it, yeah. If you got it to do it, go for it.
Exactly. If you can't afford it, don't do it.
Exactly. Because you're gonna be looking.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you're gonna be looking like, look, we're gonna have to go back to the house, and I'll go ahead and I got this this Tostitos pizza rolls, and and watching the movie. I mean, hey, I will say too, I had this conversation with somebody else the other day. This woman asked me, she said, why is it that
I got all this itchy, this sweater is itching the hell out of me. I don't know. I'm scratching my neck. Anyhow, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. You got that cotton.
Yeah, for some strange reason. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that this lady, she said, why is it that guys would, take a woman back to the house or versus taking her out to eat? And I said, look, it's all based on the value that he sees in you. We're not gonna take you to something real decent if we don't really see that much value in you. We only may see you for one thing, because maybe for whatever reason in our mind, something about you just says take you home to the bed, straight up. Or you have some type of something about you, an appeal piece is you have a certain type of control, certain type of self-respect, self-worth that we're like, yo, this woman, I know you heard this before too, Peter, or you may have even said this yourself. This woman make me want to do something different. This woman make me want to do something different. I had him even say in situations, damn, that woman made me want to go ahead and lose weight. Like, damn, that woman want to make me, like, a woman can make you, like, really rethink your own shit. Your own shit. The right woman will make you question and change up everything. Yes. Sometimes that's why you got a lot of guys who had exes from the past, and we realize the shit that they said. Women will always chime in about, like, well, why he changed now after we not together, and he done married somebody, and he giving everything that he was supposed to give to me, and he giving it to somebody else. The whole reason that is because something about that whole interaction changed us. You went on and let us go, and we won't shit, and we want that and that. I said, look, for whatever reason, we said, look, we got to get our shit together, and we did. Unfortunately, it wasn't with you, but that's just what it is. You know, it's just what it is.
That is true.
So you gotta think about, how are you gonna step up? What are you gonna put out there? What kind of effort you gonna take with the person that you want to be with, if it's the person you want to be with, and go from there. Play your cards right. Play it safe. Play it right. I'm telling you. That's just my final thought on that one, though.
But for the person who is dating, I mean, they haven't found the one yet. They're not ready yet.
Yeah.
And they still want to date multiple women. What is your final thought?
So if that's you, and this is where I'm going to go with this one. If you want to be out there, you gotta think economically. You gotta think economically in your spirit, economically on your finances. Choose the right kind of women, right? Not just out there with crazy behaviors and ready to embarrass you and this and that. You got to deal with this sensibly. And if you such a man, be straight up honest. Say, yeah, you're not the only one I'm actually dating. I have my others. I have other people that I am dating right now. If she really feeling you, maybe she probably will do the same thing. Maybe she really gonna give you the attention and time. But you got to play it smart with the right people that you're dealing with.
Go Dutch too, right? You can go Dutch. You can go Dutch too.
You can. Well, these women are different now, man. Like these women are not gonna be going.
Things out there. I just want to see it.
They are some. Now, I will say, I had a woman that took me out on first date. Kid you not? She was the one that was like, she was the one that was aggressive. But this is where we talk about high energy. It's a whole other conversation. But high interest. If a woman has high interest in you, you can get past a lot. You can get by a lot of stuff. Women will allow you to do certain things based on how attracted they are to you. Okay, they will and after a while, they're gonna start saying, look, they're gonna start complaining a little bit, and they'll let you hear about it a few times, and then they're ready to go. But when it comes down to first initial stuff, or whether you're putting it down in the bedroom, they'll allow a lot of shit. I ain't gonna front. Peter, you speak on it if you want to, but I've had it.
Hell yeah. But when they gone, they gone.
But when they gone, they gone. And you're gonna sit there thinking like, damn, I lost a good one. Damn, that ass was good.
They gone.
You be like, damn, something about her was so damn good and I miss her. You're gonna think about it, you're gonna regret it. So you gotta really think. If you come across that one,
you know what? I used to be a fool for that saying. What I mean by that was, yeah, of course, when they're gone, they're gone. But you think about the ones that you left.
That's true.
You gotta remember, that you know what?
We fumbled our own bags.
Yeah, you did some damage.
Yeah. Peter, I remember I fumbled this woman, man. Let me tell you something. This woman had Bajan roots too. So if you don't know what Bajan is, if a woman's from Barbados, the island of Barbados in the West Indies, she is Bajan. Big up to any Bajans and West Indians on the...
Big up.
But I remember this girl, she was Bajan American. She was Yankee Bajan. But she had a nice, personality. She had a nice shape, right? But it was the fact that she...
Make up a name for me. Don't put her name out there.
Okay.
Give her a name.
I'm going to call her Tanya. Okay? I'm going to call her Tanya. So Tanya had a nice shape. Tanya was oh, man. Tanya was everything for me, right? At the time, she was everything. However, Tanya told me that she was basically alcoholic. She used to drink a lot of wine, drink this stuff and that. And I was being super judgy. I was being super picky. And I blocked her. So, but when I started seeing more pictures of her, I said, damn, I got to get her back. I got to unblock her. So by the time that I tried to unblock her, it was too late. This woman had met this dude. She got married to this dude. She got a kid with this dude. They on trips together. Man, it must have been a couple of weeks. It didn't take long.
A couple of weeks.
She might have already
married and got a kid.
It didn't happen in that time. I'm saying that in the time that we weren't talking, she had found another guy. I remember she had because a lot of times women will have a guy on the sideline somewhere, and she may have seen him.
Women always have a guy on the sideline.
Right. They got a guy that they can always just pull from, like a spades card, like a book of spades. You playing spades, and they got that one in that book. She pulled out that king. She put out that little prince or that spade. You know what I'm saying? That double joker, whatever they call it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, by the time that I was coming back, it was too late. I was she basically said, well, you was too late. You let me go. You blocked me. You can't get me back. I'm with a new dude. I'm mad. I'm about to be, I really like him. It was nothing I could say. This man and this woman are still together. I think it's like 6 years now. It's been 6 years. And I've been like, and low key, the vicious, vindictive part of me was like, man, I hope they get they get like ruined. They're not together no more. I hope they break up and this and that. Or, I hope you did this to her and then she right back in your arms. But I was like, why am I thinking this way? There's no reason for me to think this way because whatever it was, I couldn't get it. It wasn't for me.
Well, I'm glad you came back around with that.
That was a tough lesson right there, though. But we all got to have, a lot of men, we have to have those L's so we know better for next time. So when you come across that one, you'll know. Because you'll find yourself doing things that you never thought you would do.
Right.
To please this woman so that she'll be happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't give a damn what they say if they call you a simp. I don't care. If you come across that one and you know that's what it is, then you give her the world.
That is true.
Give her the world because she's going to give you the world.
That is true. That is true.
And you might end up with a whole family. You never know.
That is true.
So
speak. Let me know how you feel.
I'm doing this for free, okay? I don't get paid to do it. But I do this because I love you. I don't know you, and I love you.
There you go. We share the love. We share the wisdom. We share the love.
That's right.
We share the new understanding. We talk about things that are open discussion, some things that we ourselves are growing from. So, it's always good to fellowship with you, cuz, and to share knowledge and to impart knowledge. So thank you so much for this.
No
doubt. Are we good?
Yeah, we're about to go ahead and close out. I'm over here just thinking that, we got more stuff. I just enjoy these because when we get into it, we just unpack the meat and potatoes. So I'm just going to close out and say thank you for joining another episode of Cultured Unplugged. Make sure that you like and subscribe. It's a pleasure having Peter, my cousin, my family, my blood. I appreciate you and love you for being on here as always. Stay tuned for more content because we're breaking down more subjects. The next subject we get on, I'm telling you, I don't want to tell you right now what it's going to be because I know it's going to give you something that you're going to laugh, you're going to have a good time as always. So just sit back, relax, and let's get it unplugged.